to Nashville and moved to NRB and have NRB every week because you run into all kind of good friends. Rick Santorum, how are you, my friend? Oh my
Parker. It's been a long time.
Like, and 20 years or maybe more.
A long time ago.
What are you doing? What are you doing and what are you doing here?
Well, a couple things that I'm here for. Number one, Newsmax. I mean, I work for Newsmax and I'm a contributor there. But secondly...
Wait. For those of you that are not familiar, Senator Rick Santorum. You never lose your title, but now he's left Washington, D.C. to try to do it inside, and he's doing it outside, saving the culture. You've not changed a bit.
I'm trying, and I'm working with a group called Convention of States that's trying to...
Yeah, you know what? I think I saw that. Tell me, what is
it? It's an organization that is basically trying to limit the power of the federal government.
That sounds like a good idea.
Through the mechanism that the founders put in Article 5 of the Constitution to allow the state legislatures to call a convention to propose amendments to limit the power of the federal government.
Okay, you have to break that down to me because I think I heard something about this years ago, and Phyllis Schlafly was saying, no, you guys don't want that because different states can do it. I mean, we love Phyllis, and she's in eternity, and she made a long record. And she had a long record of very, very good things. So this one became difficult because when you have two pillars that we all admire on different sides of an issue, it must need more explanation.
And just
so tell me.
Just so you know, I was in the Phyllis camp for a long time, and I think she's right that Article 5 is this provision that allows the state legislatures to call for a convention to propose amendments.
Okay, so call for a convention. So they would have a convention.
Right. Each state would have one delegate. Would have one vote. They would have multiple delegates, but one vote. And
they would all come together.
They would all come together at a convention. It will be different because this would be a national. This would be the biggest thing that's happened in this country in a long, long time. Because we're going to have a convention where we're going to talk about amendments to the Constitution to be proposed to the states. It'll be gavel-to-gavel coverage. It'll be national news.
Okay, but before we get there, we have to understand what it is. So you have one person who decides who that person is.
So each legislature has to pass. 34 legislatures in this country have to pass a resolution to call for a convention.
Okay, and you have probably that many Republicans,
we have 31 right now. Okay. We're going to hopefully get to 34 soon.
Okay, and then you'll have 34 legislatures that say, we want a convention.
And that once that happens, Congress must call a convention.
Okay. Oh, so the Congress calls the convention.
It has to. It's in the Constitution that Congress shall call a convention. Okay. They call a convention. The states come together. We have had conventions of states. We've never had an Article 5 convention of the states, and there are rules in place that have been in place for 200 years, and every...
Wait, you're going too far ahead of me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't understand. Once you
call a convention,
who's coming?
So every state would appoint a delegation.
They appoint a delegation, and they're going to come in there to decide that we are going to amend the Constitution.
We're going to propose amendments.
We're going to propose amendments.
So nothing happens. The only thing that happens at that convention is that lots of different amendments will be proposed. Under the resolution, there are 3 types of amendments that are permitted.
Okay.
One, to limit terms of federal officials.
Well, now that would be an interesting one.
Number 2, one would limit spending of the federal government.
That's even a better one.
And number 3, one would limit the power and jurisdiction of the federal government.
Well, that would be amazing because that hasn't been done. In fact, when we were together fighting for welfare reform and other things, I mean, we got some things done legislatively and it was beautiful. But the bureaucracy didn't care, and they just are
because the power is all in Washington.
Exactly.
And so, and I think you and I both know that Washington isn't going to give back power to the states or give back power to the people. It's just going to keep growing.
It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. Who was it? That one of our mutual friends, I can't recall his name right now, but he said, I wish when the Tea Party showed up, he said, I wish they'd stop saying Washington's broken, we're going to fix it. He said, Washington's not broken. It is a well-oiled machine. It needs to be broken. This sounds like the way to break it.
It is. And, I give Phyllis credit. I mean, she's very cautious about the Constitution, but look, we're at a different time.
We're in a very different time.
We're $30 trillion in debt.
Unbelievable what we're leaving for our grandchildren. And you know what makes me really angry about that is the people that have pushed for most of this excessive spending, all these progressives, they don't have children. They're not worried about their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. You're a family man. How many of them people did you make it?
7.
You got grandpeople yet?
1.
Oh, I have 2.
How about that?
Okay,
Congratulations.
So tell us, if somebody said, well, I want to know more about this convention of the state, because it sounds pretty interesting, where would they go?
Just Google Convention of the States.
Convention of the States. And what are you doing with that?
So I'm actually,
I'm
actually traveling. I've been to 10 state capitals in the last 2 months.
Really?
3 states just recently have adopted this. We're up to 18 states.
Oh my goodness.
Wisconsin, Nebraska, and West Virginia.
Okay.
And South Carolina is going to come in the next couple of weeks.
Well, you're looking great. You're speaking here. I saw that.
I will be speaking tonight.
Why else are you here for NRB?
That's it. Just they asked me to come and speak tonight, so
okay. All right.
I figured I'd spend the day with a bunch of my buddies.
Well, I'm glad you are. And I'm glad you stopped by here at Cure America. Now we're excited about what you're doing, and we're going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. You know I'm going to look it up. You know I'm going to look it up. When I have dear friends that are on different sides of something, I'm going to look it up. But I'm happy that you're still on track for
still fighting the fight.
The size and scope of government.
Amen.
Because they're in places now that are creating a cultural war on steroids.
That's exactly right.
All right. Thanks, my friend.
Thanks,
all righty. Good. Hey, Rick Santorum, he's wonderful. Oh, and remember when I had Jill on, she told me, Susan B. Anthony is the 4, her plan is the C3. So there's a difference between the two. So I just want to clarify that. C3, they get to not do lobby work and they get tax exemption. C4, they get to do a little bit more activity. So you have to separate them according to IRS. And we better be really watchful for this because of big government in Washington, huh?
They'll punish you.
They'll punish you big time. Yeah. All right, Rick Santorum here at the NRB. I'm so excited about visiting with him, and I'll be right back.